Hey everybody, Devin here with wagonwell.com, and today's video is on how to find out where you belong. So basically very few people really know where they belong, especially early on. It might be clear to some people that people are musicians or mathematicians or even cooks at an early age, but still, not a lot of people really find out just what they want to do or where they belong, where they want to contribute, um, really until they're after their in their mid 20s or after. My grandfather used to say that a man's not a man until he's 30, and I'm actually turning 30 this year, and I'd have to say that I can't disagree with that statement, Grandpa. So thanks for passing on that line of advice. So if you are under 30, you're going to watch this and hopefully you'll think back too about that man's not a man until he's 30, and when you get to 30 you'll realize just all of the knowledge and experience that you've gained, whether that's intuitively or just in life in general. So to get back to how to find out where you belong, so you should be able to answer three questions. What are your strengths? How do you best perform? And what are your values? So basically, strengths you have to go experience and find out for yourself the hard way, and you'll find out through feedback what you're really good at, and you should also be able to find out if certain things about yourself as well, like if you like working at a big organization or if you really don't. That could be one thing, a strength that you should know about yourself, that you work better in a smaller environment. So strengths are something you should definitely keep testing and getting feedback on what you really perform, you really do well on. So excuse me. But to the next question on how do you best perform, you should ask yourself a couple questions, really, a couple of questions that help determine personality traits will actually help you really answer this question on how you best perform. And the first one right off the bat is, are you a reader or are you a listener? Would you prefer to read or listen? This definitely has an impact on how you perform. And the greatest example I have of that is of John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. So basically, the administration, John F. Kennedy, I believe he was a listener. He was the listener, I believe. I could have it mixed up, vice versa, but he was the listener. And basically, he would wake up in the morning and his advisors would come in and have a big meeting, one after one. They would sit down and they would talk with him. Now, when he was assassinated and Lyndon B. Johnson had to step in, he had a very similar administration, and he had to quickly turn things around, as the way it was operated under JFK was not sufficient to his standards. He actually was a reader, so he actually had to have things written down for him. So he'd wake up early in the morning and have all of his memos written out for him, and he would read them first thing in the morning. And that was how he best performed, and you need to know these things as well. So that is the first question of personality trait to ask about how you perform. The next thing is, how do you learn? So do you learn better through doing, or do you learn better through writing? Actually, there's a good story about not just Churchill, but everybody, I guess, who doesn't really do good in school basically learns well in writing. So basically, you have to write everything down that they just learned, and that's how they memorize things. And then there's other learning style of talking. Some people actually learn better through talking, and I believe I am that. I basically, every time I learn something, whether I'm more of a reader than a listener, so every time I read something, I want to go share it with the world and talk to somebody about it. And that can get annoying sometimes. You have to find the right group. It can be hard to be a talker. So you should be able to answer those questions to find out how you best perform. Now, you should also know what your values are, and a good way to know this is the mirror test. So basically, when you wake up in the morning, what do you want to see when you look in the mirror. Do you want, what can you live with? These will really determine your values, and these questions are very great to have answered for where you belong. So when you do have these questions answered out, this is going to help you determine to what to say, what opportunities to say yes or no to. Uh, so when you're prepared to find, you already know the answers to these questions. When the opportunity does arise, you're prepared. You will find yourself, and that, going to where you belong. And that's really where a lot of changing around and life, turning can happen. So just something I wanted you guys to think about. I don't want to keep it too long with that. It's been a very long, busy day. I'm still in my workout gear here. Workout gear, actually, as in working outside in this cold weather up here in New York. We're still working on a few things with Wagamode.com. Couple more days here, and we should have everything in place. So stay tuned for that, and you guys enjoy your day. See you guys tomorrow.